Hey there guys, LazyBeast here, back with part 3 of the Complete Beginner World of Warcraft series. So in this episode, episode 3, what we're going to talk about is where you go when you enter the world for the first time and you've just completed Exile's Reach, and how to navigate the world. We're going to cover that. Portals, teleports, questing, where you should quest, where you should level up, and all that stuff. So we'll explain about the expansions as well and the sort of storylines that have gone through. So on this character, I've just sort of skipped ahead again. I've started a different character and I've just got level 11, I think, level 10. And we've just finished Exile's Reach and been teleported to Stormwind. So if you've done it before, you can skip this quest. But what we'll do, we'll go and welcome to Stormwind and we'll just chat about that as we go through. So you may wonder, if you're new to the game, why I've got this mount. This is something to do with heirlooms. Now, I'll explain this and I'll do the collections in a different video, so don't worry about that. So this quest basically takes us through things and your basic sort of navigation through the city. So we need to ask a guard for navigation. So you can ask a guard for anything really, anything that you need to find in the city, or you can have a look there and see things that you don't know what they are. So for example, void storage, you might wonder what that is. So you can go and have a look, and transmogrification. Again, we'll cover this in a different video. So what we need to do for this quest is ask a guard for directions to the stablemaster. So we'll do that. Click on there. I want the old town one. So you can do this for anything. So what it'll do is it'll put a marker on your map, as you can see there. It won't be there forever, because once you've gone there, it'll go. And what we can also do is go on the map by pressing M, and you can control and click, and that'll place a pin on the map. If the pin is not coloured in, so if you click it, you see how it's gone gold, that will now navigate you, as you can see here, to where that pin is. You can do this anywhere. So if you shift and click the pin, if you control and click the pin again, it'll go away, and you can put this anywhere. Just keep on doing it. You can also share this to chat. If you open chat and shift click, then that'll share it. If I press enter, you can see my character just said that. So if I'm in a group, you press /P and talking party chat, you can shift click and that'll share that to your friends. So what we can do, we can click on that. Now this guy wants us to follow him. Another one for navigating the world is using the minimap. So again, you can zoom in and out on this, and there's actually things you can add to it. So if you click on the little looking glass icon, you can choose different things. So because I'm a hunter, I've got these different tracking things, so I can choose to track beasts or any of those things on my map. Townsfolk, now this is where it gets quite useful. If you want to track like innkeepers, so you can always change your inn to wherever you're currently questing. Mailboxes, repair. If you're a hunter, obviously the stablemaster is useful, and also if you want to heal your battle pets and that sort of thing. Most of these are pretty useful to have on. So I recommend that you tick what you do want to track, and then they'll always show up on your minimap. So you can see there's quite a lot of repair people around here because we're in a major city, so that's nothing new. And there's also it'll track like things like the mailboxes here. So that's just always really handy. So this is where you actually get your first mount. So this has changed. You get your first mount at level 10 now. You should have got enough gold from just picking up random stuff and selling it when you were questing through Exile's Reach. So you get your first mount now, and then you can obviously buy different ones. So once you've got your mount in your bags, if you don't already know it, you just right click it to learn it. And if you go on Shift and P, that'll take you to your collections tab. If you go across the mounts, you can see all the mounts that you've got here. So what you can do with these is just drag this icon to one of your bars. I have mine, my mount key bound to F8. So you can click that on there and then press your key, and then you mount up. So it's as easy as that. Now when you get higher levels, you'll be able to train faster speeds. So you start off at level 60% speed, and then you can train 100% speed, and then after that you can train flying mounts, and then fast flying mounts. Now this quest next takes us to learn about our specializations, our specs, and a bit more about our class. But what I'm going to do is cover this in more depth in the next video, so I won't cover that here. This is all about navigating the world and questing and where you should go. So now we need to go make our home. So this is where you get your hearthstone or hearthstone, however you want to say it. So you make this your home by clicking on this. You can do this at literally any inn in the world. There's inns in usually every zone. Sometimes there's a few in each zone, and in every major city, so you can choose to have your home wherever you want to be. Now I do recommend that you keep this as Stormwind while you're leveling up, or Orgrimmar, if you're a Horde. So now we've got our Hearthstone in our bags. So again, you can put this on your action bars if you want to, just so it's always there, so you don't need to keep rummaging in your bags and finding it. And this is why I have these bars over there, so it's just out of the way. So at this point in the quest chain, once you've completed the little introduction into either Stormwind or Orgrimmar, it then wants to basically make you go and start off questing in the Battle for Azeroth expansion. Now, this is something I think brand new players to the game, you may have to do this. but you might also have the option to change. Now, anyone that's already done Battle for Azeroth before definitely has an option to change. So you do this by going to Chromie, and with the system called Chromie Time, so we'll go and explain that further now. So once you've arrived in either Kultiris or Zandalai, you'll be here if you're Alliance and here if you're Horde. If you don't want to do the Battle for Azeroth quest, then what you can do immediately is Hearthstone out and then start the Chromie Time. Now, if you want to complete the little introduction questline to Battle for Azeroth, then that's up to you, but this is sort of where the story gets a little bit weird, because you start off on Exile's Reach and you may not have any idea about the story of World of Warcraft, and then all of a sudden you get, busted out of jail, and you're with Talia and this guy, Flynn Fairwind, and you have no idea who they are. There's no real explanation as to why you're here. You might not even know who Jenna Proudmoore is. It's a bit confusing. So what I suggest is that you do this little introduction questline and then Hearthstone back to Stormwind or Orgrimmar and then go and visit Chromie. So here we can talk about Flightmasters. So if you see a Flightmaster, usually if you've never been there before, there'll be a little green exclamation mark above the head. Once you click on them, then you then learn that flight path. So you can see here we've just started off in Kultiris and we've just learned this Flightmaster. Now as you go around, there will be more Flightmasters dotted around, so if you go on your map and have a look, you can see them before you've discovered them. So that's where they are, the little blue ones. For Horde they'll be red, these little boots with the wings icon, and you can see them dotted around all over the map. Any that are gold are neutral, so both Horde and Alliance can get these. Now all you need to do is run over, again with the little map command, you can put a little marker on there, you can go to them if you want to collect all the flight points, but you'll just naturally pick these up as you go around questing, and these are literally all over the world. So, Kalimdor, you can see where they are there. There's so many everywhere. Once you've got them, it just makes flying around a bit quicker, so that's another way of getting around the world fast. If you do complete the introduction quest to Zandalai or Kultiris, which I do recommend that you do, then you'll get the portal room opened here, and you can have your easy access back to Stormwind and Ironforge and other cities or wherever you want to. Now, this gets better in a minute, so what we can do, we take the portal back to Stormwind, or if you Hearthstone like before. Now, this is the portal room for Alliance, and it's located here on the map. I'll also show you on the other side of the screen where it is for the Horde. Now, there's portals here to basically everywhere, all the major things around the map. Some of them will be locked off when you're lower level though. But don't worry about that, you'll get them all by the time you're, by the time you got to max level. There's a lot of portals in here. It's basically the main hub of, how the quickest way to get around when you're in Stormwind. Now you can see that there's this icon here. Now this is Chromie, the Time Walking campaign. Now we've only just done the introduction for Battle for Azeroth, but I've done that before, so say I wanted to change it, or if you wanted to change it, I'll show you how you do that. How to change which storyline you actually level up and quest in. So that's where it is for the Alliance, and I'll also show you again on the other side of the screen where it is for the Horde. So we make our way over here, we can again control and click on it, click on that little marker, and that'll guide us to it from in the world. As you can see, we need to go the other way. So before we get to Chromie, I just want to say that if you're wondering where should you quest, it really is just up to you. It's personal preference. Probably one of the best areas to level if you want to level quickly is if you choose the Warlords of Draenor expansion, because it's very streamlined at the beginning, but it's totally up to you. The benefit of doing Warlords of Draenor is you get your garrison unlocks. That's something you can work on over time. And if you're worried about the raids and stuff and the dungeons within these sections, well, you can go back at any point and do any of the raids and dungeons. When you're max level, you can go and do these with either solo or in a small group, and you can experience those for yourself. So here we talk to Chromie, and you can see she says select a timeline. So this is where you can change where you're leveling. So currently everyone starts off leveling. You do Exile's Reach, and then you go into Battle for Azeroth questing. But if you want to change that up, and I recommend that you do, unless you've not done Battle for Azeroth before, then you can choose wherever you like. Another side effect of choosing these is if you choose, for example, the Lich King, you will only be able to queue for the Wrath of the Lich King dungeons in the Dungeon Finder. You can see for now, if you go on I, we can only do Freehold, and it's Battle for Azeroth normal. Those are the only ones that we can choose. If you are, for example, a DPS player, or even a tank or healer at times, and you're queuing up for a dungeon and it takes longer than around 15-20 minutes to find anyone, it will say, this queue is taking rather long, would you like to queue for dungeons in other expansions? And you can select to do that to speed up your process. But you can only actually queue initially for these ones from the one that you choose. So what I'm going to do here is select the Iron Horde, which is the Warlords of Draenor, and you can see there it changes, so we get the quests now to go to the Dark Portal. And you can see on here, it's changed in the Dungeon Finder to Warlords of Draenor normal dungeon. You can choose to go back or select a different timeline entirely, so we can do that. We can select. As far as I know, there is no cooldown on this. You can just do this as much as you want. So you could literally do like 2 levels in the Cataclysm, then you could do 20 levels in Wrath of the Lich King, and then do the final levels to level 60 in the Iron Horde. It's totally up to you what you do. If you wanted to start off and go back and do World of Warcraft roughly as it was at the start, but obviously with some changes because of the Cataclysm, then the Cataclysm is the one to choose. Then in order it will be Outland Lich King, then it will be Cataclysm. It's strange because the Cataclysm uses some of the old world zones, a lot of the old world zones, and some of the revamp zones from the Cataclysm, and then you go into Pandaria, then Warlords of Draenor, and then Legion, and then Battle for Azeroth. If you want to know more about the lore about World of Warcraft, then there's plenty of videos and other resources on that. If you want to catch up on the story, there's some nice summaries. There's a guy called Noble, and I'll link one of his videos in the description, that does really good lore summaries. He is like the lore guy for World of Warcraft, so if you want to catch up on the story, you feel like you've missed out on the expansions, then he's the guy to go to for that. So once you've chosen where you want to go, then all you need to do is go to the Heroes Call board or wherever it tells you on the quest. So if you go on the campaign, so you can see we've still got the Tiragard Sound quest for Battle for Azeroth, we've got the Time Walking campaign for the Cataclysm, and so what we need to do is go to the Heroes Call board. Now, this is where you get another choice. So here's the Heroes Call board. So what this basically does is give you quests for zones. Now, funnily enough, it only comes up with 3. So we could choose, there you go, the Outland. Now that's obviously in the old world, that's the Burning Crusade. So what we're going to do is choose Southern Barrens, and you'll notice if we choose this, it'll tell us where to go to start questing in the Southern Barrens, but if we open this again, it'll have changed Southern Barrens to a different one. If you go off it and go back on, it's the same, but if you choose Stone Teller Mountains, again, there we go. So there might be a particular zone that you think, oh, it's quite interesting, I want to go there, but if there's none on the board that you want to do, what you can do is just accept these, and then you can just delete them. You can just go on there, click on your quest log, abandon, and then obviously that's not cluttering up your log. The maximum number amount of quests you can have in your log at one time is 25, so try and keep track, you know, don't get it too stuffed up. Yeah, so there we go. If you ever want to change, you just go back to Chromie at any time and you can change where you're currently questing. And that is basically a summary of, you know, where to go, how to navigate the world, and where to quest. I hope that's helped, guys. Next episode, I'm going to delve deeper into your character, so like your specs, the rotations of your spec and your class, where to find information on doing the most damage, being a better tank, being a better healer. I'm going to talk about cooldowns, going to talk about interrupting, and just some more terminology and phrases about, you know, combat in general and raids and dungeons, that sort of thing. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please do share this with your friends if you've got someone new that's just started that might find this helpful. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been LazyBeast, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.